Okay,
So,
so, oh, go ahead, Jody.
oh no, I was gonna say you still have to do roll call and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, I was just getting ready to do that. So call to order the meeting for the Barrio Historico Historic Zone Advisory Board on Monday, June 27th, 2022 at 4 p.m. Paolo Di Lorenzo here. Paul Horvat.
Yeah, I'm here.
Grace.
Here.
Here. And we don't have Mary Lou or Philip here yet. So approval of the minutes from June 13th, 2022. I have not looked those over, so I can't make judgment on them.
I can bump those to the next meeting if you want to.
Unless Paul or Grace, you guys reviewed them and.
I have not. If we could do
Okay.
it next meeting, that would work for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not either.
Okay. So we make a motion to approve. Do we have to make a motion for that, Jody?
No, you're just trailing it to the next meeting.
Okay. And so after that, call the audience. Do we have any audience members present?
No call to audience, no comments.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to continue our discussion of the Barrio Historico design guidelines discussion today.
Correct.
Yeah. So I don't remember where we left off. Grace, you were taking notes last time, weren't you?
Yeah. I'm just trying to find, I think we created a Google Doc for it. Locate that.
Just so you, per the minutes that were done on January 24th, when you had your last design guidelines meeting, I can read them real quick to you. The board started discussion of the proposed design guidelines with the introduction section. The board worked through several sections and requested page numbers be added to the document. They also wanted to include a requirement for masonry construction rather than frame and stucco. Staff recommended that redundancies in the document be eliminated. It was determined that the best practice or best process for review would be to create a Google Doc that everyone could share and comment on. At future meetings, the shared document and comments could be discussed by the entire board. It was decided that the guidelines discussion would be a standing item in the agenda and could be discussed if there was time available. In months where there are no reviews, the board would still meet to discuss the design guidelines. And that's the gist of those meetings from the last time you saw it.
What?
Yeah. Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, I'm just being interrupted here at home.
Oh, so it sounds like from that, Jody, that we probably should get this Google document out to everybody before we even have this meeting so we can all review it and make comments on it. And didn't it also say that we need to have all the board members there to continue discussion?
I don't recall seeing that.
Oh, I thought you read that off.
Oh, the best process for review would be to create a Google Doc that everyone could share and comment on. At future meetings, the shared document and comments could be discussed by the entire board. You're correct, the entire board.
Yeah. So get into minutia here. What should we do? Should we continue this today, or should we get this Google Doc out and then, give everybody, I don't know, a month to review the Google Doc and do this again? What do you, Grace and Paul, what do you guys think?
Yeah, at the Armory Park board, when they did this to the first sort of the first round was dividing up the guidelines and sort of tackling each section and then bringing those comments to the board and then sort of getting an impression if that sounds like everybody agrees or not. So that way you start off with a little bit more manageable of a piece.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would add that I think you guys tried to do that in the first time, where you had a smaller group. And then you use the Armory Park as a key. And then Armory Park, even there, yours was really big, but theirs was also big. And when they went to Plans Review Subcommittee to discuss, it actually got kicked back, and now they're reformatting it to reduce redundancies, eliminate stuff that's already in code, because they had a lot of code language in there that was like, this is in the code, why do we need that? A lot of stuff that didn't need to be in there because it was elsewhere is getting taken out. So they're in the process, they still haven't gotten theirs approved, but it's in the process of being reduced in size. So I don't, and then they also had the problem of, they did split it up and people took their separate sections, but then there had to be somebody who made it a common voice, because when you read through them afterwards, it read differently for each section.
Right.
Because different people were writing them. So it's something, those are things to consider.
That makes sense.
I think I would suggest maybe doing the path that you had to begin with, where it's a Google Doc and you send it out to everybody and everybody kind of go through and make comments, with the idea that it doesn't need to be super long, but it does need to get the point across of what you're looking for.
Yeah, so, but I mean, does that mean taking what we currently have and putting on Google Docs and sending that out to everybody? Is that what you're saying, Jody?
Well, what's the format of it right now? Is it a PDF? Is it just a Word document?
What I got is a Word document.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with the Word documents, you can also go into the edit and just edit as you want. And it highlights who said what, doesn't it? I mean, there's only 5 of you. So there's
Yeah.
12.
I mean, I've got a hard copy in front of me that I took notes on, and I'm having a hard time figuring where we left off last time. Because I went through this myself the first time and I made notes on the side, and then the second time we did last time, and I used the same color pen, so I don't know where I'm at with this. So I'm pretty lost on it. And I never got a Word document. Mine was a PDF for this. So I think you had sent out a Word document afterwards, Jody. Is that true?
I thought I sent something out after. I thought I sent something out that got forwarded to me, to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think my original one is from when Karen and Mary Lou were working on it. I was gonna help them, and they sent me this as a PDF because I didn't have Microsoft Word at the time. So I don't have that.
Do you have it now? Do you have Microsoft Word now?
I don't, but I can use Pages. But at the time, I wasn't able to open Word documents through Pages, but I am now.
Okay.
So should we, Grace, do you have the whole thing on Google Docs?
Yes.
Okay, so should we email that out to everybody and say, make your changes on it and we convene in a month or 2?
Yeah, that works for me. I'm just trying to get it uploaded here. Can do it. The other thing that I'm seeing in my email is that Jody had shared with us the Tucson Historic District's PDF and said it could be helpful. Can you, I'm sure you told me already, but would you tell me a little bit more about what this one is?
What did I share with you?
Tucson Historic Districts. It's a scanned PDF.
Oh no, you know what that is? Paul sent that to me, I think. That was the old design guidelines, correct, Paul? That,
Right, that's from the 1970s.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's like the 4 or 5 page one, Paul.
No, it was,
it's a good
it was,
size.
no, it was a substantial, I don't remember exactly how many pages, like maybe 40 pages, something like that.
Oh.
It
But
had,
is that the one specific to the barrio? It's not.
no, it was Tucson's historic
Okay.
districts.
Yeah.
So if we send out the Google Docs, yeah, so that was put together by the planning department, and it just is for all of them.
Hey, come on.
Grace, do you think you can email that to me? Because I can't find it in my folder.
Yeah,
here.
definitely. Yes,
Thank you.
and this is the guidelines, so I'll get that emailed out. Sorry, I haven't actually sent emails to the whole board before. Is there anything I need to know in terms of open meeting?
You should send it to me so I can send it out to everybody.
Okay, perfect, that's what I'll do.
If you just send it, I'll forward it. Thank you for asking, though. If you send out the Google Doc and everything like that, do you want to schedule another date to do this?
Yeah, do you think we should wait for the next meeting to see if we can get the other two on there to?
So your next meeting will be the 11th.
Right.
To date, I don't have anything for that agenda. I
Oh,
have something cooking, but he's not ready to roll because we still have some stuff he has to submit. So we can just put it on that agenda. But that'll only give you, like
Couple weeks.
Like 2 weeks, basically.
can we put it on for the August agenda?
Well, by August, I expect that you'll actually have a review. So you'd be doing the design
Oh,
guidelines discussion
right.
with the review.
Yeah, that takes up too much time.
If we put on this, how about everybody just shoot for like, not the whole document, but maybe you just take it in small chunks. So if you, in the next 2 weeks, look over,
Yeah,
the first section, I guess, or the first 2 sections, and then that way we can discuss those. So it's a little bit daunting to think about the whole thing, but if you take it in manageable pieces, then it's a little bit easier to digest.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
yeah. Can we just say like pages 1 through, I don't even know, 10 or 15? Because the sections, some of them are pretty small. I mean, we could be doing this for the next 10 years if we go that speed.
It doesn't bode well because I think this has already been 2 years, but
What's that?
it's already been in the making for like 2 years now, right?
Oh, I know. And at this rate, I mean, we're gonna be doing it for another 4. So it'll be 6. So okay, let's just put on, Jody, can you put in the agenda, have pages 1 through 15 reviewed? I mean, the first 3 pages are gonna be the table of contents. That's actually the first 4 pages. And then we've got introduction, Barrio background.
So if we go through page 14, that puts us just at the end of the different house types.
Yeah, but are you gonna mess with the house types?
Those are copied and pasted from the original one, aren't they, Jody?
Yeah, or they came from Armory Park or probably West University to begin with, and then some stuff was added in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should review those because I know there's a bunch of grammatical mistakes in those.
Okay. So I can put on the agenda to have pages 1 through 15 reviewed.
Yeah, Grace, does that take us through the, what we were just talking about, the house types? 15?
Yeah, that's page 14.
Okay, so let's do it through 1 to 14, Jody.
Okay, and then I'll have that on that'll make it more easy for you to digest. Like you said, the first 4 are table of contents. You
Yeah,
kind of have to come back to the table of contents
Right.
anyways.
we will, and just pull things out.
Yeah, so.
It looks like we're at 40 pages total.
40. So Jody, what did the city say is like an acceptable amount of pages?
It's not like they said there was an acceptable amount of pages. It was more like you have a lot of redundancies in this, and you have a lot of, information that's already spelled out in the code. Why are you putting that in here? Why do you have these redundancies? That kind of stuff. I mean, they had a lot of information that they didn't necessarily need to have in there.
I mean, that's what this one has too.
So it's something to keep in mind when you're reviewing it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And Grace, before you send that out, are you capable of just putting page numbers on this and then sending it to Jody?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Get that thing done immediately.
That'll make it easier.
Yeah. Do we have anything else to add to this?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we can move on to agenda line item 5, staff updates.
So we are still moving through with the commission separation. We had our last meeting, the 4th stakeholder meeting, on the 16th of June. In that meeting, we went over all of the proposed recommendations. Bear in mind that those were just discussions with stakeholders. Ultimately, it still has to go through a process with the Historic Commission and the Planning Commission and Mayor and Council. But there was generally not much discussion on a number of items, such as the deconstruction idea, fees for work without permits, the designation of interiors for individually listed properties or city-owned properties. I will add, with the fees, it was determined that that's actually a separate process that it has to go through, because the fees are, there's a particular process when you're changing fees in the code that it has to go through. So it would be something that we would have to kind of follow up on if that happens. And then the deconstruction is something that we're digging a little deeper into research to figure out how other cities are doing, how well it's doing in other cities, and such. So that is still kind of a pending item. There was also not much objection to the idea that it would no longer be the potentially no longer be the planning and development services director that signs off on decision letters. Rather, it would be the historic preservation officer that would just sign off on decision letters. We were looking at how that would impact the appeal. The big item that you guys, I think we've talked about it before, but that there was some support, some not support, and we're kind of taking a look at it, is the combining the advisory boards with the plans review subcommittee, so that there would be a member of the advisory boards on the plans review subcommittee, rather than having these different subcommittee meetings, advisory board meetings for each historic preservation zone. So there was some not support for that. So we're taking another look at that to figure out how we can do that. Because basically the advisory boards, what it sounded like in the meeting was they don't trust the neighborhood associations. They don't trust each other. They don't, there was like a lot of, they don't trust the city. So they had a lot of concerns about that. So we're taking another look at that too. We
Hey,
haven't,
Jody,
sorry, go ahead.
what's the, what would the role of the neighborhood association be?
So the thought is that the neighborhood association would have their own architectural committee that then would inform the advisory board representative who would sit on the plans review subcommittee. And then they could vote. But there was a lot of concern that the neighborhood association didn't fully understand what the advisory boards do, or how they, what they kind of look at when they're looking at projects and stuff like that. So that was kind of not well supported. So the idea is, if the neighborhood association has an architectural review board that then informs the advisory board member who was appointed to PRS, that staff would not have to then attend the neighborhood meeting, because it's a neighborhood meeting. The neighborhood would be noticed like 2 weeks in advance, so they could review the projects and then inform the advisory board member who was on PRS. But again, we're taking another look at that. So at this point, we're kind of digesting a lot of the information that we received, and we're gonna evaluate it. When it goes to the Historic Commission, we'll notify you, so you can attend the meeting and hear it, and you'll get notifications along the way of when it goes to Planning Commission and Mayor and Council. But basically,
So we got an email today from what is her name? Mary McClements.
oh, Martha McClements.
Yeah, that they're doing a Zoom meeting today at 5:30. And it says, I mean, and then Philip sent out some, I don't even know, there's nothing attached to Philip's email after that, but Martha says that there's a Zoom meeting today at 5:30 about splitting the TPCHC. And the main issue we are discussing is the abolishment of the historic zone advisory boards.
Oh,
You get that?
she doesn't want me there.
Why?
Because I represent the city. So I was not aware of that, and that's fine if you guys want to have that. I'm sure the discussion is their concern about it and what they can do about it, to either go talk to the ward offices, or how they want to pursue keeping the advisory boards. I will say that I don't know how it ends up. Ultimately, mayor and council could maintain the advisory boards. And if they do, that's their prerogative. And we will be lobbying for more staff, because as you know, it's just me and Michael that are doing this. And we have other stuff. We have federal stuff that we're reviewing, and archaeology stuff that we don't just do the advisory boards. So you're welcome to attend Martha's meeting. Like I said, I wasn't invited to it.
Yeah. So is Martha also the one that had sent out that email? Maybe you didn't get this, Jody, a couple weeks ago about the new Casa Vicente building on Stone?
Oh, I wasn't privy to that email either, so I don't know. Martha is the chair of the Armory Park.
Oh, then it's her. It's her.
Yeah, it was Martha.
Okay. I mean, is that, you didn't see the email, Jody, but I mean, is it ethical to be the chairman of a board and then email out a bunch of people complaining about a project that's coming up? I saw that email is pretty kind of strange, and I said, I'm not attending that meeting.
I can't speak to that, because I don't think I received that email. She ultimately, they are, if that's a project that Armory Park reviews, ultimately they're just making a recommendation, and it would have to go through to another review body.
Right.
So it's not like she's making the decision. She's not the decision maker.
No, I know, but there was in that email, there was like this rallying cry of come out and, you know, go against this project. And I was like, well, I don't know about that.
Oh, is that the project for
That,
375 South Stone?
yeah, that Bill Mackey's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Ethical, I can't speak to that. I
Right.
honestly, it is something I'll ask our city attorney, but you know, typically you do have to kind of in meetings that you're going to be in and you've had like ex parte communication or something like that off the books, you do have to disclose that. I don't know if you have to disclose the fact that you're doing a rallying cry for it, but I can ask our city attorney.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, Paul and Grace, did you guys get that email? Probably.
Yeah.
Am I just totally off base on this?
No, I did get the email. I was curious to take a look at the plans, but I think I also my take was stay away from that.
Yeah, okay, so I'm not.
Although that was my feeling about the meeting today as well. I don't know if there's a quorum issue.
Oh, the 5:30 meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there could be a quorum issue. There could be a quorum issue. But that's wonderful. Now, thank you so much for like noting that. Oh, you already sent that to me. Thank you.
did
for
I put
sending
you
that
in a
to me.
bad spot?
No, that puts her in a bad spot, actually.
Oh, that she didn't disclose today's meeting to the city?
Well, because if she has everybody from the advisory board attending or all of you guys, and it sounds like all of y'all received it, so you could have quorum. That's an open meeting law issue.
Oh, okay. All right, so
Oh, the
Yeah.
other staff update I should let you guys know about. We officially heard probably like last week, but Scott Clark is no longer the director of PDSD.
Oh, I hadn't heard
Oh.
that.
Oh, yeah.
did they appoint somebody else?
We have an interim director, which is Tim Torme, who's the assistant city manager, who's our new interim
Okay,
director. So he didn't get
All right.
fired. Scott took a different position in the city.
Cool.
So
cool.
yeah, we'll miss him. We like Scott quite a bit around here. It's kind of a bummer.
Okay, should we make a motion to adjourn today's meeting? So I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn today's meeting. Is there a second?
Oh, yeah, I'll second it.
All in favor, Paul? Do we lose Paul?
Sure, yes.
Grace
Aye.
and Paolo, aye. All right, everybody, thank you. And
Thanks, everybody.
Yep, Jody, thanks. We'll meet on the 11th.
All right, have a good one.
Yep. Jody, do you know when you'll have that agenda item out? Because then I'll send it out or I'll just confirm quorum with everyone.
I should have it. I can do it sooner if you want me to.
I mean, next week is fine.
Yeah.
Just so it's not like a couple days. Yeah, you do it early enough.
That's what I shoot for.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. Everybody have a good week.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.